Hello, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for your positive feedback on the last live story where we talked about the history of Dewey Moore. Today, we are going to together learn the history of Big Creek. So, Big Creek is on the middle fork of the Salmon River. It's one of my favorite places to visit. If you've been there in the last couple of years, you know that even more current than this book, the Big Creek Lodge has been rebuilt. I even was lucky enough to donate a little bit of money to do that, and there's a little plaque with my name on it at Big Creek that I haven't seen yet because I haven't been there in a couple years. But how's it going, Brian? Hello, everybody who's joining on. Wow, we got a whole bunch of people on already. Hey, Arthur, how are you from Arizona? Let's get right into it. We're going to learn about Big Creek. I am so excited. The Big Creek is a river on it's I think the middle fork of the Salmon River. So the Salmon River kind of splits off and does a whole bunch of stuff. Kevin, Papa John 357 over in Michigan. Let's look. First of all, here's a picture of Big Creek from the book. It's really big, really creaky. Here we go. Oh yeah, here we go. The Big Creek drainage, which is one of the largest tributaries in the Middle Fork, attracted many people during the Thunder Mountain Gold Rush. William and Annie Edwards traveled to the area and in 1904 founded the small town of Edwardsburg, located at the headwaters of Big Creek. Edwards, a mining attorney, sought to profit from the gold rush by opening a small law practice along with a general store and post office, mainly run by his wife. Edwardsburg served as a year-round hub for area residents into the mid-1940s until mining activity tapered off. The Edwards operation was somewhat taken over by their only son, Napier, who lived at the town site until his death in 1974. The ruins of their original house and store can still be seen behind Gillian's Lodge near Logan Creek. Edwardsburg is now mainly comprised of well-kept private cabin sites that were used during the summers. What was that last comment? Oh, let's see. Really creaky. How's it going, everybody? Just reading the history of the Big Creek Lodge in the Frank Church Wilderness up in Idaho. Little backcountry history lesson for you as you fly into these iconic locations. And everybody's on quarantine, so, got to cope somehow. And so we're reading history. In 1920, the area around the current airfield became a ranger station. Fred Williams served as the first Big Creek District Ranger operating from a tent. Over the years, the site became a major U.S. Forest Service headquarters. The first permanent buildings were built on the southeast side of the present runway. The original ranger station has since burned down, but the beautifully built commissary remains. In the 1930s, the CCC had a seasonal camp on the northwest side of the approach end of the runway. What is the CCC? It doesn't have quotes or anything to tell me what the CCC is. All right. I'd really like to know what CCC is, but I don't know. By the 1940s and onto the 1950s, the main U.S. Forest Service facilities were moved across the runway to the west side where they remain today. To the south of the airstrip and current Forest Service buildings was the Big Creek Hotel and Store. For decades, the hotel was an Idaho backcountry attraction for many travelers, particularly for pilots who enjoyed a good cup of coffee and a home-style country breakfast. Civilian Conservation Corps. Thank you, Pilot somebody? What does it say? Pilot Goals 62. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Everybody's saying Photo GP80 also got it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. In the mid-1930s, Dick Cowman, what a cool name, Dick Cowman. Man, he's a cowboy. That's a legit name. It's not like Robin, English name. I'm a Robin. In the 1930s, Dick Cowman and brother-in-law Joe Bayok built the lodge and the other early associated structures. The modest outfit, operated by Cowman and his wife Sophia, had several rooms for rent. and a nice-sized dining area for guests and other passing customers. In addition to the lodging business, they sold goods and ran a post office at various times. The function of the place remained the same, but went through many owners. In 1947, the Cowmans sold it to the Weymouths, who turned it over in 1951 to Horace Faraday, who sold it to Carl Whitmore. Harry Eaton, along with 2 partners, then purchased the place and operated it until 1961, when they sold it to the Harpers. In 1973, Bruce Minter acquired the place. He and a partner sold timeshares, which turned into a messy situation, which timeshares kind of suck in general. In the 2000s, Scott and Trudy Fodor attained the lodge. Unfortunately, in the fall of 2008, while under their ownership, a chimney fire burned the place down. The historic lodge and outbuildings were constructed on U.S. Forest Service leased land and were not rebuilt until now. So, a little bit of advanced history that this book has not cut up on. We have rebuilt the Big Creek Lodge thanks to the hard work of a nonprofit organization. Can't remember the name of it right now. I think it's called just the Big Creek Lodge Foundation or something like that. But a few years ago at a fly-in, we were able to raise thousands and thousands of dollars. I was able to donate a little bit. And the lodge is now open and available and bookable. So get on Google and get yourself a reservation at the Big Creek Lodge. Here's some photos of the original lodge. Let me show you that one. Ooh, look how cool that is. This is like real legit backcountry history. Look at those dudes. You know, airplanes haven't changed all that much, have they? They're still awesome. These people are on the cusp of amazing. Oh, look at the fire. Oh no, how horrible. Ugh. Man, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Now let's talk about the airstrip. Starting in 1926, the Forest Service began using the land where the current portion of the airfield is located for grazing pack animals. Interesting. In 1929, the pasture developed into an aircraft landing site. Here's a picture of that. It's showing me in the captions. Look at that airstrip. Big Creek is one of the coolest places you'll ever go. It really is a beautiful, the approach, the canyons, oh, everywhere, all the things, all the awesome. Okay. James Hornberger, a mining foreman in the Big Creek area, worked with the Forest Service on the project and utilized his crews from the Golden Hand and Wardenhoff mines to do the initial clearing. The runway was later smoothed out with equipment and measured 1,300 feet long. That's pretty nice and long. Gosh, it's way longer than that now. It's got to be 3,000 some odd feet. It was not until the 40s that the airstrip was further improved with drainage pipe and material brought in to improve the soft areas. The more upgraded runway made it possible to operate aircraft as large as Ford trimotors. Oh, can you imagine how cool that would be to see a Ford trimotor in the Idaho backcountry? Oh, we need to make that happen. Who's got a trimotor? EAA, I know you have a trimotor. Let's get that thing up to Big Creek and take some photos. Hang on one sec. Bear with me. Little off-camera nose rub. Bet it wasn't off-camera. Deal with it. Okay. Yeah, Ford trimotors in the backcountry. How cool is that? They are pretty STOL. I was actually able to take a ride. I took a ride on one years ago at Oshkosh in their Ford trimotor. How cool. What an amazing airplane. In 1957, the D7 Caterpillar that was used at Chamberlain and Cold Meadows was walked back to the Big Creek Ranger Station. This cat was used along with other large equipment to completely rebuild the airfield. During the field seasons of 1958 and 1959, major areas downstream from the original runway were improved by installing culverts, moving 28,000 cubic yards of material, and extending the runway to 3,550 feet. By September 1958, the field had been lengthened enough that Bob Fogg of Johnson Flying Service executed the first upstream takeoff. Fogg performed this maneuver in a Travel Air 6000 look at that. How freaking cool. There he is. That bad to the bone airplane in the backcountry. Holy cow, these guys are pioneers. Look at that. Here's a big copy. Dude, I'm I'm just being lazy. I'm not really growing anything. Devin is in the comments has said, "You're growing a beard." And my response to that is, nope. Maybe I will. See, I think I look like Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. It comes in patches, got nothing here, got nothing over here. Like, I got no sideburns at all. It's just, I got like 2 or 3 Homer Simpson hairs. Anyway, took off a Travel Air upstream, pretty amazing. In 1960, Chet Moulton with the Idaho Department of Aeronautics, which is still a great organization today, became involved and supplied state funds to help finish the project. The following year, the Forest Service issued a special use permit to the state. Good job, Forest Service. The state became heavily involved with maintenance over the years, particularly with irrigation and surface reseeding. It's a beautiful grass runway there. The Big Creek facility, along with Johnson Creek, is one of the department's premier airstrips in the backcountry. And that is true. You can pretty much take anything in there. I've seen Cirrus in there, Moonies. I saw a Mitsubishi MU2 in there one time. You can get anything in and out of Johnson Creek and in and out of Big Creek. So utilize those airstrips. It's awesome. The field has been used extensively for Forest Service fire suppression activities as well as by the public. The largest aircraft known to have landed there is a DC-3. Even without the Big Creek Hotel as a destination, the airfield continues to be popular with pilots, hunters, fishermen, campers, and hikers. The runway not only offers a great entry point to the area for recreation, but also provides access for cabin owners in the surrounding Edwardsburg and Big Creek areas. Many of the cabin owners are pilots and aviation enthusiasts who operate their own aircraft. And there's some photos. The beautiful tri-motor in there in Big Creek. Oh my gosh, how cool is this? Here's some more photos. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the history of Big Creek in the Johnson Creek Wilderness area. Let me show you a quick map of the area. If you want to jump on Google Maps and look for Big Creek, last week we did Dewey Moore, which is right here. If you look at where Big Creek is, it's downriver a little bit on the Big Creek right here. Big Creek. Boom. And then Johnson Creek is down, kind of a little bit further down this area. But this is where a lot of the really beautiful airstrips are. You've got Dewey Moore right there. You've got Mile High, which is really good. Vines is a really good one. Simmons. These 4 are probably my 4 favorite airstrips in Idaho because they're a little more challenging and fun to land in. Cabin Creek is also a really iconic, beautiful one. I'll get up there and do some filmmaking, make some videos. But if you get on YouTube and you're interested in any of these airstrips, they're super easy to find. Lots of pilots who have posted approaches and departures and all kinds of videos. Big Creek's got lots of videos. I know Dewey Moore's got a few. There's a really good documentary style video of an incident that happened there a few years ago, put out by, I don't know who did it, but it's really a professionally done video. But the book I'm reading from is Bound for the Backcountry. It's the history of all these remote airstrips by Richard Holm Jr. You can buy this on Amazon, and I know that it's also available. The Idaho Department of Aeronautics and the Idaho Backcountry Pilots, I think, sell copies of this on their website. Really wonderful book, and I haven't really ever read through it until quarantine. And so really fun. Really, really, really fun. I'm really grateful I have this book. It's one of my quintessential coffee table books, and finally I have the time and motivation to read it with you guys. And so comment and let me know if you want me to keep doing these live feeds. I know we got a mixed reaction on the last one. Some people hated it, but I'm doing it for the people who like it. If you hate it, just click the video. There's a bunch of videos you can click on all over YouTube and watch something else. But I just thought I'd do something kind of fun for me and for you and have fun. Let's do a quick Q&A before I'm done here. Google checking it out. Kevin, you're so awesome. I wanted to also talk a little bit about, really quick before we go, Hey, Blan. So my friend Juan Brown, he has probably one of my favorite YouTube. In fact, he is one of my favorite YouTube personalities. He does such great aviation content. It's amazing. But he does a lot of just keeping up with current events. And so his channel name is Blancorlirio channel. And he does some really amazing content. I really encourage you to go check that out, Blancorlirio. And he keeps you up to date with everything aviation. Pretty cool stuff. Also, merchandise. I've got some really cool new designs, even a coronavirus shirt on the Flying Cowboy store at flyingcowboys.com. I want to thank Acme Aero for really being awesome and supporting my channel. They have been really amazing partners this last year, and just amazing, good dudes. And so if you need a suspension system for your aircraft, check those guys out. Give them some consideration and some love because they are supporting Backcountry in a big way. Anyway, let's go to your questions. Bernard, yes, I agree. Any questions really quick? Got 54 people on board. You got a minute. I'll give you a minute to win it. If no questions come in, I'll just thank my... Oh, so I can't remember who sent this to me, this little Cory Robin thing behind me. Really amazing and awesome. I do know Jim and Cheryl who sent me that. That's really awesome. I appreciate that. Juan's asking me if I went to Texas STOL. No, I didn't. I had a family event. My daughter had a national cheerleading competition in Phoenix, Arizona, which ultimately was canceled. That was literally the weekend that this whole coronavirus thing blew up. And I would have loved to have gone to Texas STOL, but I didn't go. Got a couple questions here. 200 days to High Sierra. That's right, Aaron. We'll see you there, buddy. Somebody's asking if Oshkosh will still be on. We're planning on it as if it's still on. And honestly, we still have time. Oshkosh is still something that you should plan on going if you're planning on going. Until we have any news otherwise, I would just carry on and plan your trip to Oshkosh. On Facebook, there's my group called Slow and Low to Oshkosh. We're starting the planning now. And usually we get a good group of people going to Oshkosh. I'm planning on it. I'm planning on doing the STOL competition there with my friends and a bunch of newcomers this year. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay, more comments and questions. Yeah, I would plan on Oshkosh happening. Do I ever fly to the Northeast in the Appalachians? You know, my airplane was built in upstate New York. And I don't know if you have ever heard of the Rhinelander Airstrip. It's an amazing kind of historic World War I grass airstrip. They got a really cool museum there. I picked up my airplane at that strip and then flew it home. And so as far as backcountry flying or flying in general, that's the only flying I've done there. I took an opportunity. I flew down the Hudson River corridor, and then I turned right and went through New Jersey and started my trip out west. And I didn't really spend much time there. But I'd love to. Thank you for letting me know. I'd love to explore that area. Let's see. Which Idaho airstrip do you think is the most scenic? Oh, wow. They're all so good. You know, Soldier Bar is a little bit different. Soldier Bar's up off the river a little bit more, but it has a really dramatic drop off onto the river. And so if you want to look down on the river, I mean, in an airplane, you're looking down all the time at the river and the mountains and everything, but Soldier Bar is kind of a special place. So if you're going to want to Google Soldier Bar Airstrip, maybe that'll be the next one. We'll do the history. That one is an amazing strip. It's beautiful. So check out Soldier Bar. Let's see. More question. Seen how there? Seen how was there rain? I'm not sure what you mean there, Bernard. It just says seen how was there rain. I don't know what that question is. Are all the test centers closed now? I had an appointment with PSI for Friday and got canceled this morning at 10. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking. Test centers. Yeah, talk to them. How many airplanes have I had? So, I've had a Cherokee, a Cessna, a Kit Fox, a Mini Max, a Wilga, I've had another Super Cub, a Sky Raider, another Cub. I've had 9 airplanes with the current airplane. So I've had 9. Not too many. 9 airplanes. So there's your answer, Devin. Mitch Pelton has recently states Osh is still happening. Yeah, right now the plan is, Mitch, for Oshkosh to still happen. So plan on Oshkosh, everybody. Let's make it a good year. If it happens, it's going to be a lot of pressure relief for a lot of people. So let's plan on... No, the Sky Raider, it's a little... So Kit Fox... John over at Kit Fox had a couple of partners, and back 20 years ago when things were in their early stages, one of his partners split off and started a company that built airplanes, kit planes, called Sky Raider. And so they had a single seat variant, really small, 50-ish horsepower range, up to 100 horsepower range. Very similar to the Kit Fox, but a little bit slower wing, a little bit better bush plane. And then Kit Fox kind of took off. But so for a short period of time, there was a kit called the Sky Raider. And I think was 2 different models, maybe 3. I had the Sky Raider 2. Pretty cool airplane. Keep your live streams coming. I will. What would I like to change on Ghost? The technology doesn't exist right now to do what I would do, which would be to increase horsepower without adding any weight. So, sorry about that. If I could increase horsepower without adding weight, that's the one thing I would do on Ghost. But I'm not going to do anything because it is such a great airplane for playing in. I'm not one of those guys that wants to modify my airplane for competition to win STOL drag or to win STOL competition, just because my airplane is just so much fun. And that's what I'm in it for, is just to have fun. And competitions are fun too, but I'm not super competitive. And plus, you've got guys out there doing taking it to ridiculous levels. It's pretty awesome. So I'm not going to do that. So Kevin says, A1 is my favorite warbird. Yes, I agree. How often you fly with Trent Palmer? Not as often as I'd like, maybe 3-4 times a year. I know he only is, a few hours away if we flew the same direction. But flying across Nevada is, if you've ever done it in a bush plane, it takes a long time. The whole state's kind of, big mountains and then desert, and then big mountains and then desert. And so it's not super exciting, but anyway, I fly with Trent not as often as I'd like, probably 3 or 4 times. So JC's saying, love watching your videos. You're up in Riverdale, fly out of Ogden. We'll be done with your commercial this summer. Well, congratulations, JC, keep cranking it. Hopefully you're able to complete that as planned and get into the workforce because we need you. We need the pilots. Why do STOL planes not have a fully articulated horizontal stabilizer, slow speed with a lot of command? That's a great question. I think the answer to that really comes down to weight. In order to do a fully articulating horizontal stabilizer, you have to have a lot of strength in the structure, especially in the hinge points, and that is weight. It's much lighter to have a traditional fixed horizontal stab with hinge points out and a control surface. And I think that's really all it really is it's just weight savings. And there's a lot of, when you do a fully articulating horizontal stab, the control structure, there's just a lot of airframe complexity there in the design of it and just keeping it rigid and stable across the entire flight envelope. For example, when you're at low speeds, you've got to have a little bit more up elevator so that the nose leading edge needs to come down. Depends on where you articulate it from. There's just a lot of design considerations. And so I think really the 2 biggest factors is bush planes are ultra simple airplanes. That's the biggest common denominator. They're the world's easiest to fly airplanes. They fly the slowest. They've got the most gentle stall characteristics, and they're just super simple. And so putting a fully articulating horizontal stab, 2 things, weight and complexity. That's really it. That would be my answer. Let's go back into the comments. Do you ever get to Tucson? No, I've been to Tucson. I'd love to come down. Like riding in a washing machine, crying, right? Juan is awesome. And complexity, right? We're on the same page, Juan. Oh, shoot, what's going on? No pilot shortage now. That's, well, when things get kicked back off, there will be a pilot shortage. We need you guys. We need pilots. So keep your flight training going. Plus, you're awesome, and we want you to be in our community. The fun flying aviators. Ridiculous levels. Name someone who would do that. I'll tell you. Oh, what did I do? Well, ridiculous levels. Mike Patey is ridiculous with his design. Steve Henry's ridiculous. Hal Stockman, Jason Bussat, ridiculous. Like the second level of ridiculous with their designs. Mark Patey, all the stuff they're doing in their little skunk works there, ridiculous. That's awesome. But it's really cool. It's the innovation that's going on right now is super impressive, super good for the industry, and really fun to watch. And sometimes I even get to go help them French on their airplanes because they're buddies. That's kind of fun. But honestly, even being friends with, Mike Patey and Jason Sneed and Mark Patey and Steve Henry and Jason Bussat, these guys that are on the cutting edge and stuff. Man, I am just a raving big fan of theirs. So being their friend is almost cheating. It's fun. It's awesome. The Helio Courier, that's awesome. Yeah, they do have a flying stab, but it's complex. And the Helio Courier is a big airframe and can handle that kind of weight without the penalty. It's all diminishing returns. Bigger the aircraft, the more envelope you have and the more playroom you have to do stuff, blah, blah, blah. Gerda White. That's so funny. I heard that Acme Aero shocks are the best shocks available for STOL. Is that true? Well, I like them. And so if you want my opinion, I want to run the best of the best, and that's what's on my airplane. There's a lot of really good shocks, and I'm not a Ford versus Chevy kind of guy. I'll drive either a Ford or a Chevy. I'm not going to really dig my heels in. Whatever company's making the best shocks and giving the best support to the industry is who I'm going to run. And they're lightweight. There's just so many really good things about them. I love them. Check rides tomorrow, Monty. Wow. Congratulations. Make sure you send me a private message. I want to send me a photo when they clip your, well, no, that's a solo. Send me a photo of your temporary pilot certificate, and I'll blur out the important information. I'll post it on my Instagram stories. That'll be awesome. Do I ever get to Michigan, Papa John? No, I have not. Never flown in Michigan. We'll have the 182 at High Sierra flying. Yes, it's totally going to be perfect weather this year at High Sierra flying. I guarantee it. So Juan talked about the pilot shortage. He says, folks are retiring fast. This may create another hole in the qualified pilot demand very soon. And that's very true. A lot of people are getting to that 65 and retiring, and some people are even in this shortage or taking early retirement. I actually know 2 local pilots that their airline gave them the option with their full retirement package early, and they took it. So there is definitely some room for new pilots coming up. So, don't believe people that are naysaying and say there's no pilot shortage. It's coming. It's real. Unfortunately, a lot of the smaller companies are still paying peanuts, and it's a difficult thing to get into, but persevere, put one foot in front of the other. There's really good flying jobs as you work your way up the ranks, just like anything else. I mean, heck, if you're in the food service industry and you want to be a chef, you might have to wash some dishes first, right? It's every industry. Work your way up, bro. Make it happen. Scrappy is going to be awesome. Mike Patey is the modern Howard Hughes. Mike is amazing. Gotta love the guy. His energy is really infectious. If you ever get a chance to meet him face to face, just hang out, and he's got a lot of extra energy. We're retiring aircraft faster than pilots. Isn't that right? Crazy. You guys still allowed to go flying in the U.S.? Yes, we're allowed to go flying. They haven't cut that out yet. I hope they don't. If they do a ground stop, it's going to suck. Got the sand out of the plane after the sandbar landing. Did you send Kyle off into the scrub? So I've actually already edited and uploaded the part 2 and 3 of the Green River experience. I went with Troy Mason and Kyle Moses, and they're up and available for paid members right now, early release. So there's a little join button down below if you want to check that out, the membership program. A lot of cool, fun benefits. There's a little video that'll explain everything. So check out becoming a member. There's a lot of private content on there, a lot of videos that I don't release to the public, either because they're embarrassing or I did something stupid and I'm being vulnerable and talking about safety and talking about me a little bit more personal. Because I figure that the people that are paying that $5 a month, want to be pals. So it's just kind of fun, and it's a smaller community and a little bit more intimate. So maybe consider becoming a member if you like, and it's cheap and helps support the channel and keeps things going. Also, my buddy Juan Brown is making a go of this YouTube thing professionally. And man, his content is so much better than mine. I am so in love with some of these creators. There's so many to mention, but since he's on the live chat, I'm talking about him. Go over to his channel and support him if you don't mind. Because honestly, I'm a huge fan, and I think you'd like it too. 68 pilot opening at Loop City Air Service. So check that out if you're looking for a job. He's in the comments right now, so click on him and figure out how to get a hold of Loop City Air Service. I'm sure they're on the Google. Digging the beard. Cheers from Canada, anxiously awaiting the snow to melt. Me too. There's still a lot of snow in the higher altitudes here in Utah. Who is the other airplane? The Murphy Moose. You know, I forgot the dude's name. It wasn't a moose. I think it was called a bush caddy. I'm not sure, but it was a beautiful airplane. I wish we had more time there to kind of go around and look at it. He lives, the airplane's based in Heber, Utah, and I just don't know that guy. I wish I did a little bit better. The airplane's a 4-place airplane with 300 horsepower. It's a beast. Really awesome. So, yeah, I'd like to get to know that individual. My buddy Troy knows him, and I'm going to call him and ask about him because I really feel remiss for not knowing better. Brian Beckman, thanks for your testimonial. Brian is one of our members, and he says there's good stuff, and you should join now. Bernard C. Cory, my daughter just started her private. She's coming to High Sierra with us this year. Oh, wow. Make sure you keep me up to date. I love women getting their pilot's license. I have a daughter. I have 4 kids. I think my daughter is the one that's most likely to become a pilot. And so that hits home, and I need good examples to show her, hey, look, this other girl did it too. Juan, your editing doesn't suck. It's awesome. Hello, Oregon Aaron. I agree. Love the Bland Colirio channel. Blonde Colirio. I got to figure out how to say that correctly, but Juan is awesome. Just got an awesome RC Super Cub all set up. That's how I got my starts flying RC. Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We're about 30 minutes in. That's long enough. I sure love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing or watching and supporting. It's amazing to have such wonderful people that are in the community and enjoy the content that we put out. The next one, maybe tomorrow, I'll jump back in the book and let's talk about Soldier Bars. So stick around, watch for the live feeds. I'm going to kind of do them at random points when I have time available. I work in the airline industry on the supplier side, and it is crazy busy, so I don't have a lot of time. A lot of people are down and hanging out and being alone, but my life is chaotic right now, trying to scramble to create software tools for airlines to cope with all this madness. And so it's definitely a challenge for me going through a huge amount of transitional change in my life. So hopefully we can all survive this. Stay safe. Take this whole virus outbreak thing seriously. Keep your family close. Hug and tell the people you love that you love them, because you never know what could happen next. This life is insane. Stay motivated, stay happy, become a pilot. That is awesome. We'll see you guys on the next one. I always forget how to turn these off, so it's a little awkward at the end.